how to make things better, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Hello, hello, and welcome to the Success Code. Happy Saturday. So, y'all know, right? The Success Code is where conscious leadership meets business and real talk. And y'all know me, the real talk is where we're going. We're going to talk business, yes, because the real talk is going to lead to the business. And it's so funny because my guests today, we're just talking about real talk and business experience and how we're going to build wealth a different way in this season, right? Not that the old ways aren't working, because remember also the success code is where we are debunking the success lies that we've been told,
Mm-hmm.
right? The things that have been one way for one set of people the entire time. Well, how do we shift our mindset around it? How do we shift how we do things so that we define what success is for ourselves and create a life that we love, right? Create a life of fulfillment. So, our guest today is Miss Madeline Reese, and I'm so thrilled to bring her to the stage with me to have conversation. This is gonna be fireside, y'all. Fire, and she gonna bring the fire too, because she's one whippersnapper. Madeline, serial serial entrepreneur, and y'all know we're going to bring you vulnerability. We're going to bring you, again, real talk, real talk. So if you're not in for real talk, you can hang up now, or don't watch the replay. But I would love you to stay. I would love you to stay, because if you know me, one of the things that I am on mission to do is to shift people's consciousness about themselves. And I believe that that's the way that we're going to shift humanity on a whole, right? So,
Absolutely.
welcome, Madeline, to our fireside chat. One of these days, I'll get some fire somewhere.
You got plenty. Thank you for having me, Lorna. This is exciting. This is going to be fun.
So, go ahead and introduce yourself so people know who you are, and tell us, and then we'll jump into the conversation.
Yes, I am Madeline Ritchie, and I currently run multiple businesses. My husband and I are business partners. And my business journey started in 2008 when I got laid off from corporate, where I spent 18 years of my life. And, ignorance is bliss. We opened our first business, not really understanding what we were getting ourselves into. But sometimes that's amazing, right? Because then you have no expectations, and having no expectations sometimes is good, right? Removing all of that, it keeps you at ease. It keeps you focused on what needs to be happening. And so anyhow, we did that, and that turned out into an amazing opportunity in business, which today employs on a contract basis over 5,000 nationwide agents. And so I am the CEO of that one, and my husband is the COO. And it's basically a family business that we have grown to be one of the largest in the country. Yes. So from there, we love the business side of it, and we decided to kind of dip our toes in different types of things. So we're investors for emerging brands. We currently have 2 of those in the DFW, 2 brands that we support. And we have the areas, and we have currently open, it's Beam Light Sauna being one of them, one of the most revolutionary products out there when it comes to health and wellness. So there's about 7 or 8 opened already in the DFW. We have the Drip Bar, which is 3 of them open, doing very well.
Wow.
And yeah, so we have that going, and and other things that we do. We just recently invested in. It was a great opportunity for us into AI, a company of AI, because I believe that is the future. And we can dissect how that's going to look like going forward.
Yeah, I want to talk about that, because we're talking this week and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so good. I want to bring it to the conversation. And it's so good because I made a deal similar to that this morning.
You did.
Well, so when I say similar, I mean like the way you structured the deal, I use the same structure, not the end game that you playing, girl, but it's still a good end game for you get what I'm saying? But I use the structure of what you
Mhm.
said. Um, before we get there though, I want to hear, I always ask my guests, what is their definition of success? Because remember, this is a success code, and success is personal, I believe. You
Mhm.
know, I believe that, but I know some people get in trouble because they are taking on the success idea from everybody else around them. So I always like to hear other people's definition of success, to kind of like, see how people are thinking. What's your definition of success?
Well, that's a very good question because I think people will answer it in a black and white kind of thing because that's what they've been told,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
So to me, success is alignment in motion. Okay. It is when your vision matches your value system. That is for me what it looks like. Waking up in your power every morning, building businesses that serves your soul, right? Leading with integrity, mentoring others to rise to the occasion, being able to leave a legacy where when the day that you die, as morbid as it might sound, that people that you are going to draw 300 people that are going to talk about how you touched their lives. To me, that's success.
Wow. Wow, Madeline. Like I heard there's so much that's coming up right now. I could hear it came from like your belly bottom, we would say in Jamaica. It, it came from your belly bottom. You know what I'm saying? It
Yeah.
didn't come from your throat. It came from right here.
Because that's how
Like,
I feel. That is,
yeah,
it almost made me teary eyed,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
because it is what burns my soul, right? That is what my burning desire to leave this earth one day, knowing that I touched many people.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's beautiful, beautiful. And so when I hear you speak with such passion and I'm going to say determination because it's like that's your mission, right?
It is.
Which is again, people know me. I talk about mission, vision, values. That's why when you say your vision and your values align, I'm like, oh my gosh, this woman talking my language. That's why we clicked, right?
Yes.
Um, uh, if I ask other people what success is, the first thing that'll come out of their mouth is something about money, something about um, you know, um, you know, where they live, high lifestyle or whatever. And not that that's wrong, not that that's wrong, but I believe that the passion and the energy under which you move in the world is a thing that will drive the success, right? Like for instance, you, right? Like you're in 4 businesses. What in heaven's name drove you to that, right? Had to be, yes, there's opportunity, but let's walk through the mindset of how you decided to
Mhm.
start these businesses. And maybe you can take us through one at a time, or maybe it's a similar pattern that you have that you make decisions based on, like let's talk about that.
Well, as a business person, right, from a business standpoint, you must have diversity in your portfolio. Okay. Very critical
Mhm.
because, we don't have a crystal ball in what any one industry is going to do. So, and I'll give you an example of that. I owned a gym. It was a boutique studio back in 2017. I opened, it was something that I really wanted to do. I wanted to bring value to the women. I wanted to create a ecosystem that they can come in and empower themselves to health and wellness, because if we don't take care of ourselves first, nobody's going to take care of ourselves, eh?
Right. And the money is irrelevant, B.
Exactly. And not only that, then you have the issue that you're not going to be in in your power every single moment of the day for others, right? It's no different than when they tell you you must put your mask on first before you can, help the next person, right?
Mhm.
And so we opened that business and COVID hit, right? And as we all know, the industry, the wellness industry, because it's so in person, it just got decimated. And however, my other business, my signing business, was thriving. It was crazy. I mean, gosh, the universe was totally by my side, because
Mm,
we were literally the only ones open. We were an essential business, right? People still needed to close transactions. We have this product that we pioneered in 2018 when we first came out to Texas in 2018. Um, which is remote online, right? So you can close transactions from all over the world. Doesn't matter if you're in a cave and you have Wi-Fi and you're a U.S. citizen and you're buying a home and you're there stuck, we could help you. So that exploded, right? I helped create one of the emerging brands that are now dominating the industry from that standpoint, from remote online. And you can close, notarize anything like that. So that gives you a good indication. Why is it important to diversify your portfolio? So the way I approach things is that I don't want to do anything that I don't have the skill set to be able to jump in and help my client.
mhm.
Number one. Meaning, I am not going to go and open a drip bar, right, an IV therapy bar myself, because I am not a nurse. So I have to rely on people to do that, right? So that means that I am giving my power to someone that can get potentially sick, quit on me, and then what? My clients don't get served. So instead, what I did, I invested in the area, right, where then we get passive income.
Okay. So you
So
focus on passive income.
right. So because we do make money of all of these people, their revenue, right? So we make about 3%. But if you make, it's nickels to make millions, right? We
Absolutely. Oh, I want you to say that again. Girl, that's a
nickels to
hold
make
on,
millions.
nickels to millions. Hold on. It's a marketing thing over here.
It really is, because
Mhm.
yeah, that was a mic drop moment. So seriously, you can't look at things from, you can go from 0 to a million overnight, right? So you have to strategically find businesses that can give you the incremental income, that if you have 10 of those, then you know what? You're making, $3,000 for those a month if they're doing well, right? On an average, or even 2,000.
Mhm.
Then now you're making 20,000 a month, and it's mailbox money.
Mailbox money. Yeah, 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 yeah.
So
I
yeah, that's
I love that. I love that. And oh my gosh, I hope y'all are watching on the replay. Who are watching now, listen deeply to what she's saying, because you put so much into what you just said just now. I'm gonna break it down a little bit of what I heard. No, because Madeline, I'm sure you've heard it. We've been bamboozled into thinking, and don't get me wrong, you gotta have structure under everything, is what I'm hearing, right? Because you're a structure foundation person. I know that about you, right? And there's so many people who will tell you, even coaches nowadays, who will tell you, don't do this, only focus on this. I get it. And if you are, I believe if you're a business person, business is business. You just gotta, the foundational business is business. Every business is built on a similar foundation. right? So once you know business, you can overlay the concepts into different industries based on your expertise, is what I heard her say. She didn't, I just love that. But what I want to debunk is the idea of yes, the one thing, but the one thing in context. Let's talk about that.
Well, I mean, again, it is, and I love that you said about you have to know business, right? You don't have to know the industry.
Mhm.
Okay. And another example that I'm going to give you, we went to New York and we have a friend that does photography teaching how to reach the 1%er, right? And that's a very hard industry to crack. You're talking about photography, weddings for the billionaires, right? And there was something that she was stuck on, right? And my husband, now he's a strategist, he's fantastic, not because he's my husband, but he is. He literally dissected where her stuckness was, if that's even a word. uh, you know, and she was like, but you don't know my business. I don't need to know your business, I need to
Mhm.
know business. Okay. And business is very fundamental.
Mhm. Period.
It's
Period.
fundamental, you know, and you know, you're right, we get so worked up and wrapped up of what that person says that you need to know. Or yes, you have to have a skill, right? You have to know where your zone of genius is.
Mhm.
But then how do you expand on that and not just be pigeonholed?
Mhm.
Right. And that's what we did. You know, we created out of one industry, we knew what to do, and then we expanded. Right. We became strategists, consultants, because we know what we need to do. But we are also setting our 5-year plan. One Friday, we sat here and we got a whiteboard and a glass of wine, you know, and we sat and we mapped out our 5-year plan. And our 5-year plan meant that we would make almost $100,000 a month doing nothing.
That's my kind of plan.
Yeah, because
I mean,
we,
it's not that you're not doing anything, by the way, right? Because I'm sure you're doing some. Mm,
well, you
not
do
not doing anything to bring the income in.
exactly.
Just for clarity.
You get
Just for
it.
clarity. Yeah.
Well, the part of that is the foundation. You must
Mhm,
build the foundation and understand where you're going.
mhm,
And you know what I mean? If you don't know that, if you don't work hard to get to that point, then, you know, it's not that we're not going to do anything. We've already done it to get to that point,
mhm.
right? We invested in ourselves because that's critical too. You must be a student always, always. And, you know, you must be a student. You must understand that your circle of influence is important.
Mm.
Proximity with the right people is important. And it's not like-minded people, how people say it. I think it's people that can help you get to the next level, mentors. But you also have to add value as well, right? So
Yeah. So let's talk about that a little bit. Let's talk about that a little bit because you just dropping. I can't write fast enough. So thank God that that AI is on StreamYard to help me out.
ooh,
You just said
wow.
something that is a success lie that you just debunked. And I hope people, and I'm reiterating it because I want people to catch it, right?
Yeah,
And it's not, you just said verbatim, it's not like-minded people as others say. It's people who can get you um, to where you want to go. That's a big deal because sometimes like-minded people don't have the vision, the big picture, that to the big picture of expansiveness,
mhm,
meaning how to leverage. Not all like-minded people are equal, is what I heard you say,
that's correct. That is
right?
exactly my point. Like-minded could be somebody like you, let's just you and me, and we're stuck together because we're so like-minded, then how are you going to help me? How am I going to help you? Right? And so you always have to never be the smartest person in the room.
Ooh, that part.
I mean, seriously, I am a smart woman, but I don't ever want to be in a room that I'm the only one that's smart or the smartest, because how am I going to learn? I do need feeding my soul and my brain,
Yeah.
right? So you have to take that in consideration. So you always put yourself in more expansive rooms. And one thing that has helped us tremendously is, yes, VIP is expensive, but guess what? The people that are the next level is the ones that are going to pay the VIP. So you want to be in that room
Mm-hmm.
with the VIP, because those are the people that invest in themselves.
Yeah.
Those are the people that know more than you
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, right?
Not all the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
But yeah, sometimes. I mean, I'm not going to say.
Because people know the strategy. The strategy, some people know the strategy that you're talking about, right? So they'll put themselves in the right place. That don't mean, so you got to be really intuitive and inquisitive and curious,
Mhm.
to kind of discern like who's who, what's what, and all of
Yeah,
that.
but I can assure you that and this is no insult to anybody that buys a general admission ticket,
Mhm.
okay? But those people are not serious about their growth.
Mm. Say
And
more about that. Say more about that.
yeah, well, they're
I'm
not.
gonna lie, I used to buy them tickets, girl. So,
I did too. I did too. And at first, when you're first starting, you want to because you know nothing, right?
Mhm.
So you might find in that general admission the right people, right? That's gonna kind of like, okay, their journey might be a little bit ahead. But once you've done once or twice and you understand what's happening,
Mhm.
you need to move. You
Mhm.
need to be strategic about and intentional about where do you spend your time and money and the people that you want around you to continue help you grow. Now, this is my perspective. This is not something that has to be like this. Nobody has to do it, Everybody has to do, everybody is in a different journey, but these are things that to remember once you get to your destination and you want to, further it along.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and again, this is real talk. We're just talking. We're just giving wisdom. We're not saying this is how you have to do it. Again, we started with define success for you
Mhm.
and then create the plan that you are going to use to get to, I'm going to use your word, Madeline, destination. And by the way, it's destinations along the way, because I can guarantee you, if you're on a
Yeah,
real big mission, it's not going to be one destination.
never.
One destination is going to take you to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. So if you're not in for the long haul, which is why in my stuff, I talk about the mission is the thing that's bigger than you. It's bigger than, taking care of yourself. It's bigger, but you got to start with that and work it backwards.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
so I want to go back a little bit more, because the mindset. I want you to go a little bit deeper with the mindset of a person like you who's running four. I counted four. Am four, right? Four businesses. Um, we talked about the the gym that didn't work, and then, well, I'm
Well,
not saying it didn't work. It worked, and then COVID knocked it out. Did that go back? Did you bring that back, or?
okay, so first of all, the mission of that gym was, like I said, to really empower women to find
Yeah,
themselves and have a space for that.
yeah.
And, often we go with that mindset going in, and then we figure that I was really doing it for me,
Mhm.
because in that process, I learned a lot about myself. I have to submerge myself into a lot of quick learning, because then it became a purpose. My
Mm,
purpose now is to be the example of those women. In order for I had to embody what
mhm.
I was trying to show. So to me,
Mhm.
that was a massive success, although I lost $500,000 in that venture.
Man, girl, we hitting on some juice now. Let's go. See the fire come, the fire I come.
But it's true. I mean,
Yes.
some
Because here's the thing, people think that success is only money.
no.
So when you say that again, Madeline, because that is so like real.
And I always talk about this because I think it's important to understand that we go into a business thinking that this is what we're going to do. And I'm telling you, that business was a beautiful business. It really became a sanctuary place for these women to come in and really be themselves. But what was really truly empowering was that I had to be that before they could be. I have
Mm,
to embody what I was trying to help them with. And that was something. That was hard.
mm,
That was very hard, but it was so beautiful because it got me in a totally different journey.
mhm,
So the purpose of this business, while it was to help these other women, it actually was helping me, you know, to become something much greater, to be the leader that I was supposed to be, right? Because we oftentimes think that, oh, by accident, there's nothing by accident, And so to me, while I lost $500,000 because of COVID, I took so much more from it,
mhm, mhm,
right? To me, my success was the lives that I changed and the life how it changed me.
yeah, yeah. That's a win-win. That's such a beautiful win-win. What
It,
a win-win.
it really was, and it helped me. It helped me the most in probably in how I showed up for
Mhm,
them,
mhm.
because I didn't show up as a businesswoman. I showed up as somebody that was compassionate, that I
Passionate.
understood where they were coming from, that I understood their pain.
Mm, yeah. They were seen. They felt seen and heard.
Yes, they were seen and they were heard.
Yeah,
And that's all they
yeah,
wanted to be, seen and heard.
yeah. Wow, wow. That's powerful. I gotta pause on that one. The biggest thing I heard you say, because I don't think people like even there's so much in this, so much in this. Oh my gosh. First of all, you had to embody. It's kind of like when you said that, I have some friends who are like, oh, I need a relationship. I need a relationship. It's kind of like a relationship, right? Like if you want a man, you don't have to become a man, but you gotta become the person who you're looking for. And that's what came to my mind when you said that. And most business owners, um, they're so focused on the business that they don't embody what you just said. So let's can you transfer all this now into the next business that you started and how that played out? How did that play out? Let's compare them.
Well,
How did you show up for the next one?
Well, you know what? And not necessarily for the next business that I did, right? It literally I came back to my first business,
Oh, okay. Okay.
and in it I wanted to be a better leader for my people, for my for my
Ah, I see it.
agents, right?
Yes, I see it. I see it.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not, I apply all these different things to everything I do and
Mhm,
approach everything the same way because,
mhm,
like I said, I submerge myself into learning. I put myself into spots of vulnerability in order for me to learn how I would show up for them.
mhm, mhm,
Right. So I became a better leader. I became a better friend. I became a better mom. I became a better daughter. Right. I became all the things that I was searching for, that I was trying to give them, but I embody that in order for them to feel the authenticity
Yeah.
in my approach. So I deliver all of that to my other staff, to my
Yeah.
husband, to my staff, to my clients, right? And so with that, when I launched the Madeline Ritchie, which is my coaching practice, right, and mindset, that too helped me tremendously to be able to create a safe space for my people.
Yeah.
So they
Yeah.
can open up, right? So I created the skill set for me.
Yeah. 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 I can see it. I see as you're talking, I'm seeing how, because I know who you are. Well, from what I know of who you are, the word I heard was your beingness is the same across all of your businesses. So by you embodying, who you want to become, and it's not a becoming, who you're evolving into, um it's spread, it's your one way, it's just you, that's it. Like, and so you just,
Yeah.
this is, I'm pointing it out because it's important to see that somebody who has four businesses is not four different people, it's one person
Yeah.
embodying a way of being that is transferred into all of her businesses. That is super powerful because Madeline, both you and I know we have schizophrenic people, right? Like they there are different people in their different businesses. Like you can't tell the difference of who's showing up the next day, right? So I just love how you and your language is so beautiful, embodying, right? Embodying the things that you want to be for them. You
Yeah.
know, that's why I'm hearing how your success has come about.
It was
Um,
always like that, because when I was working for corporate, it was a very masculine
yeah,
environment.
yeah,
And you know how that is. And, when I did, that, so I was always in that masculine energy. And, it was not always received
mhm,
well, right? And I didn't know at the time that was always happening to me, right? But when I started to embody more more of my feminine energy, more of my compassion, more of asking rather than telling,
mm,
right? It was a different, it was, the shift was massive. The
yeah,
receptivity was incredible, right? And that is what all we want when we
mm,
are in leadership, right? We don't
mhm,
want people to just, in order for people to follow you, you must create the environment for them to follow you. And this isn't everything we do, whether
yeah,
that's social media, whether that's friendships, whether that's, leadership, it doesn't matter.
yeah, yeah. Um, it's so funny. Creating the environment, and when somebody says that, sometimes you feel like it has to be a place, like a hard place. But creating an environment is just creating the space, like in the relationship,
Yeah.
right? So, and I'm making these distinctions because I want to make it clear. Some people may not understand when we say that, creating an environment. Some people are not used to the language, so that's why I'm
Okay.
repeating things
Sure.
that you say. Um, Now let's go back to, the mindset of a person like you is really intriguing to me because, again, building four businesses that are successful all at the same time is first of all unusual, right? So the question I want to ask you now is, and it's a question for me too, right? Because I'm coming up, I'm coming up to you, girl. Uh, when you're making a decision on the next business to invest in,
Mm-hmm.
walk us through that process. Like, give it, like, take one of the business opportunity that you've stepped into recently or
Yeah.
prior. Just walk us through, okay, I have two businesses now, they're running good. How do you make the decision to bring on the third or fourth or fifth or sixth? I want to hear how you think to make that decision, because there must be a process that you go through to make those decisions. Yes.
Um, yes, there is. There is a process, and it's nothing complex, really. It's for me. It's more about I take a look of what's happening in the world
Mhm,
and what problem can I solve,
mhm,
and I am very much I'm a forward thinker. Okay, so and I'll take AI for example, which we're going to touch on anyways, right? So AI, a lot of people, first of all, the mindset of an individual, I was not always like this, but I was always a visionary.
mhm,
Okay, and so and when you're in corporate, your mindset, it's pretty much on a very fixed mindset.
mhm, mhm.
um, they tell you what to do. You can push back a little bit, like I always do, because I am,
That's
I am
just you.
that person. Yeah. I will challenge status quo every single time.
Mhm.
It's just the way I am, because I don't think that there's one way of doing things. There's many ways
Right.
of doing things. It might look a little bit different than what you're expecting, but there's always a way.
Yep.
Right. And so I had to become a a an open mind kind of individual. From a mindset perspective, it was no longer a fixed mindset. It is, what are the possibilities here?
Mhm,
It's a conversation with yourself, right?
mhm, mhm.
And then, one of my strengths, and call it superpower, it is that I love innovation. And so let's take AI, for example. We just recently became partners with an AI company that is actually in the middle of an A Series A, which I saw that as an opportunity, right? And so what I did to gain that opportunity, I added value to the person on the other end. Okay. And that opportunity, and I wanted that. I wanted that. And the one thing that I do, and my husband does very well, doesn't matter who you are. If you're having a conversation with me, I am going to add value to your life. I am
Mhm,
going to give you some sort of nugget that is going to be a life changing for you,
mhm, mhm.
because that is how I want to show up for people. That is the legacy that I want to leave behind, as I said before, right?
Mhm.
How do I show up every single day? And so this person, so I was inquiring about learning more about AI. And what ended up happening is that this opportunity turned out to be an investment that I didn't have to put any money in, okay, in the opportunity, but I became an advisory board member, right? And so, with all the information that I heard and my desire to be one of the experts in AI and bring to the market to my agents, and you heard it here first, that our industry, I am changing the way things are going to be done in our industry that we started first.
Mm.
Huh? And so I look at things from a standpoint, how can this business add value to this business?
Mhm.
And because it is the latest and greatest, and everybody is pushing back, well, not everybody, but a lot of people that don't know and understand. And this happens very often when when you don't know something or it's threatening your survival,
Mhm.
you're going to push back.
Mhm.
That is a
Yeah,
mind.
it's the fear. It's the fear. It's the fear, because the fear of the unknown, right? Like,
Yes.
we were talking yesterday about um writers, about how writers are pushing back against AI and not realizing that it's actually cutting their time and can actually double their income, come to think of it, right? Because if you cut the
Exactly.
time, you're doubling income. Like, seriously, you write more books. Hello? Just
Absolutely.
how I think.
And that is how I think too. I'm like, yes, there are risks with that, right? I mean, it's just like everything we do in life.
Exactly.
I mean,
Yeah,
wire transfer is supposed to be very, very secure, and yet we still have fraud.
exactly.
You know, I mean,
Exactly.
it's just the way it works, and
Mhm.
because you're always going to have that person that's going to ruin it for everybody else. Um,
Mhm.
but when we do put the right intention and we learn, instead of having this fixed mindset, if it's all about what we know and we don't want to learn anything else, this is how it's taught, this is all there is to know, I don't want to know, then you unfortunately kick yourself out of what's possible for you, right? When an ostrich keeps the hand in the sand, the lion will eat them. That's
Mm,
the way it works, right?
period. Mhm.
So you must be open to learn, to dialogue, and it may or may not be for you, and that's okay, right? And I get approached every day with opportunities. I had to turn down an amazing opportunity recently, as a matter of fact, yesterday. And I told the woman, it's not a no, it's not a no, it's just not now,
Mhm. Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Because I see the value and it's an amazing opportunity, right? But I'm like, do I want to bring another thing on my plate?
Mhm.
Right. So you have to be very strategic in what you bring to your plate and what you can handle, because I am not a finisher, and I say that from a standpoint of, I'm not going to be the one that's going to, this is why my husband and I are very, very aligned, because he will finish it for me. I'll bring the ideas, the vision and all that, and then he'll tell me how that's going to work.
Mhm. Mhm. And
Right.
take it to the finish line. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that, and that's so important to have somebody like that on a team with people like me and you. We can think of all these big ideas, and then we're not going to do it. We got to find people to put on the team, so that's the next thing I hear you talking about is you don't get there by yourself. You get to have a team around you that supports the vision. I love that mindset, and I love how you I could see how you were probably thinking with the AI thing. That's a perfect example of your how you align stuff. So you're investing in the AI thingamajig, the way you created the business. I don't know if you want to share on how you did that, but it's up to you.
How I
So
did
I
what?
think the strategy was how you created the. I don't know if you want to give any more details about how you created the opportunity to invest in the AI
Oh,
company
yeah, that was
because
yeah, that was great. Go
because that was super cool, right? That the way you did it was like, oh, you actually went in, if I remember correctly, you went in
Client.
as a student, a client, right? But I love how you because you said something earlier about how you were creating a disruption
The space. Yeah.
the sign in business,
Yes.
right? Creating it, and um my guess is AI is connected to that because you probably wouldn't have
Well,
connected.
yeah, we did talk about it yesterday. It was funny. So again, I went in as a student, wanted to know more about their courses, and because their offer is fantastic. I'm not gonna lie, it's amazing. And by reviewing certain things, I found a lot of holes in the process. So by
Mhm.
me asking questions and giving them my perspective from a not a criticism, but from feedback that could potentially be a life changing for this company, he was so open that, first of all, he was grateful that I did, right? Because delivery is everything, right?
Mhm.
That my husband and I added so much value that he asked us to be on that advisory board, right? And gave us 50,000 shares, right? And I was just like, I was in disbelief. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that this guy did that, and in all as an exchange of feedback and helping them become better. And that was such a great, way of giving back to somebody. It was really awesome. I will
Yeah.
definitely will interview him one day on our podcast and
Yeah.
talk about that opportunity. My point is that we must show up and add value.
Hmm.
And when we add value, the magic happens. The magic
Yeah.
happens at so many levels, you know? It's like I'm showing up for you, my friend Lorna, and give so much value to you so you too can, explode, however that is, right?
Mhm.
Because
Thank you.
by me adding value to you, you're going to add value to your viewers.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And y'all come in here and give her some love, y'all, because this this changed the thumbnail on this one. This is a master class, people. This is a masterclass on millionaires. How about that? Masterclass on millionaires, because this stuff that you're talking about, people don't talk about this, Madeline, which is why I wanted to bring you here. What you just did with that AI deal, what I saw in it, there was no money exchanged.
No, no motivation.
Except in the end, you're gonna be cracking crack-a-lack.
But just think about all the lives that I will
And
change.
all the lives you're gonna impact.
Yeah,
It's crazy. It's
I mean,
crazy.
like with that, I am going to be the number one person in the industry of my signing business that I am going to bring to these guys that can't even fathom how they can do this.
Yes.
They're going to create more money for themselves,
Sales.
right?
And this is talking about ripple. This is what we're talking about.
The
This is
ripple
ripple
effect.
on a whole different level, right?
Yeah.
Man, I hope y'all getting this. I hope y'all getting this. I hope this is opening the minds of people, because that's the intention, right? Like what's possible. So we're almost out of time. You know, when you and I start talking, it's like forget it.
Yeah.
So I think it was last week or the first. No, last week we talked about leadership. I'm gonna take this back to the call, the show I did before last week, where we were talking about working smart versus working hard. And I want you to go a little bit deeper, because this is totally along those lines. Because
Uh-huh.
people think that millionaires work hard, y'all, but they work hard in a different way.
Listen,
Go.
working hard is the thing, right? People like that word for some unknown reason. And it's hard. What is hard work, right?
Mhm.
Is
Right.
hard work doing more?
Mm.
Is it, what does that look like? Is it hustling for 12 hours without a plan? Is it
Mhm.
saying yes to everything out there that you fear?
Mhm.
Is it burning out just to prove your worth? What
Mhm.
is it really? Right? So, those are some of the things that people constitute as working hard and they feel good about it.
Mhm.
They do.
That's a lie, right? Because when they work hard, they feel good about themselves, right?
Yeah.
Or feel good about what they're portraying to other people. I
Yeah.
remember I used to work hard just to please my mom. And listen, we're talking about real talk, right? I used to work hard because my mom works hard, and she feels like working hard is a thing. That's how you're gonna get there. Until I had to change my head around that.
That's a mindset, though.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah,
mindset from our baby boomers,
yeah.
right? That you had to work hard. In order for you to become a millionaire, you have to work hard. You have to have your home. You have to do all these things that didn't really, truly had nothing to do with working smart.
Mm,
Okay, what working smart does or looks like, it's knowing your highest value actions and doubling down on them.
ooh, so good.
Yeah,
So good.
you know automating what drains you.
Yeah.
This is when AI comes into play,
Yep.
right? You don't have AI doesn't mean that you're going to lose brain cells. The contrary, it's going to help you be able to go learn and interact and do the things that you want to do that are going to help you. So then AI will assist you to send that email, to do your email campaign, right? To write whatever it is that you want to write about, right? So that, the automating the things that drain you, delegating what you've outgrown, that's massive.
Yeah, because that frees up space not only in your head, it frees up mental real estate plus physical real estate, right? Because now I remember we talk about AI. Um, Initially, when AI came out, I had a little bit of pushback, but when I understood what it was going to do, I remember I used to pay a lot of money. I went into content creation classes up the yin yang to try to learn how to write a damn email. Ooh, I cursed. So when AI came out and people are like, oh, you can program AI to who you be, and then AI will write the email, and then you can just go in there and tweak it. I'm like, what? Right? Because it used to take me a week to write one email because I had to sit down there, meditate, look at the person in my mind's eye, get emotional, and do all the things in order to write the email. Because that's how I was taught. That's how you write an email, right? I was taught by a
I
seven-figure
hear
earner.
you, girl. It was a struggle.
It was a struggle. I don't know y'all, but I had a struggle with that. So I went out there to learn all this stuff and spent a ton load of money to learn how to write content, right? And then after I did that, it still didn't work. So I hired a content writer, a more outlay, and that still didn't work because that person wasn't connected to who I am, right?
Yeah.
And now I was telling Madeline, me and Chat GPT have a thing going on. You know, me and Mrs. Jones have a thing. Well, me and Chat GPT have a thing going on because when I go into Chat GPT now, Madeline, and I say, okay, this is what's happening in my head. This is my idea. This is my vision for my people. I want to create such and such in like no time. It's done.
Yes. Yes.
Right. And I just go in there. And if it tells me something that I don't like, I tell it, no, that's not what we wanted. Let's do it again or tweak this, tweak that.
Bat chat. Bat chat.
It frees up so much space in my head that
Yeah.
I can be even more creative. So yeah, I know I went on a tangent, but I get excited about Chat GPT and I still don't understand all of it. I've seen like what's his name? Oh my gosh, what's that guy's name? He's actually a seven-figure earner on this thing.
There's a lot- they're starting to pop up
they're
everywhere.
starting to pop up, but what he's doing is he's making it so like animated and putting your face and your voice and your tone to
Oh yeah.
multiple
Yeah.
languages and all these things. So
Yeah.
it's expansion, y'all. That's expansion. I mean, I'm
Well,
not there yet, but I've seen it and it's amazing.
well, and let me just tell you about that. We just recently had I went into a AI kind of workshop, and the ability, in my opinion, this is the way I look at things, opportunities, right? How can I reach more people in another language
Mm-hmm.
through AI, right? I mean, now I just expanded my audience in a language that they can understand me. That's the way I look at it. People look at it like that's scary. I'm like, man, that's such a great opportunity. Now I can reach more people and touch more people with my message, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because now AI has created the opportunity for my face to speak Japanese,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I've seen it. I've seen it. It is a software. But going back to the working smart before we go, making bold decisions with a clear ROI in mind is also critical. Now,
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that you shouldn't work hard. Yes, absolutely. Working hard builds resilience, and
Mm-hmm.
working smart builds results. So
Mm-hmm.
the magic is in both, but you have to do it in the right order.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you need to start with grit,
Mm-hmm.
but scale with grace.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. Especially since our event is coming up called Grit and Thrive Live.
Okay, that could be your quote.
I love it. I love it. I love it. No, no. And by the way, people, there's a difference between grit and grind. We're not talking about the grind. We're talking about
Right. No grinding.
No grinding, okay? Love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So,
You're not here to
Madeline,
grind yourself to the ground. You're here to build an empire that does not require you to be exhausted to prove it's real.
yes, and not to, and it's, you're not here to build it to prove your worth either. You
Absolutely.
are worth it, and so are the people you get to serve.
Yeah.
So, Madeline, this is so super fun. You got to come back. You got to come back because
Absolutely.
there's just so much that we got to unpack some of what you gave like the summary version. We got to unpack so many things that you've said. I have a
Yeah.
page full of notes. But before we hop off, because we're at time, I'd love you to leave the audience with one thing. Well, actually, two things. One thing that you'd like them to take on from what you said, like collapse everything you said. What's the one thing that you want them to hear from you today? Second, I want you to tell them where they can find you.
Okay.
And I guess it's three things. Um, and third, one inspirational thing that you want to share with them.
Oh my gosh. I thought I did. I just finished this. Okay. No, seriously.
Summarize one thing.
Yeah, sure. Um, so first, success is not reserved, it's reprogramming. Okay. I want everybody to understand that life, business, and wealth that you want are unlocked behind someone else's approval. It is behind the current mindset that you hold, and you hold that key. And every answer is within you.
Mm, that's so good. So good. So
So
good.
working smarter beats working hard every time. It is a thing. And, you know, when you align your inner game with your outer moves, you don't chase success.
Mm, love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. You're so full of wisdom, chick. Let me tell you. All right. That's all we got for today on the Success Code,
And
people.
you can find me at themadelineritchie.com. We do have a podcast that we actually relaunching. It's called Trusted Preneurs. And, we have some really cool tactical stuff that you can learn and follow. We're also on YouTube. So if anybody wants to work with us, that is how they could.
Absolutely. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put you gotta give me that link, my sister.
Yes.
So when we post this on YouTube, the link would be in the comments in the description section. So you guys can just go in there, click on the link, and check out Madeline's podcast. Y'all heard this today. So y'all know we're not playing. We're not playing. And I mean that. We're not playing. And if you got wisdom from today, I want you to post it in the comments, share it with some of your friends, and come to the next one and bring a friend. Tell them to come listen in. They can listen to me. They can listen to Madeline. They can come to our events.
Yes.
We are here to make sure that you win. I want you to
Absolutely.
hear that loud and clear. We're here to make sure that you win. So come along with us on the journey. Bring your friends. The more the merrier, because I believe that when we shift into conscious leadership, it's game changing. Game changing. Conscious leadership means that you're going to lead yourself so that you can lead others. All right, my friend.
Having
Thank
me.
you
It
so
was
much.
fun. I hope it was valuable and that everyone was able to get something out of this conversation.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. All right, y'all. I'll see you next week. All right. Have a good
Talk
one.
to you soon. Bye.